Welcome to the show. Here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite from June 4th, 2021. I gotta say, guys, this episode was better than Smackdown from last night. You're not gonna hear a whole lot of complaining coming out of me except for the main event. I thought the choice of that main event absolutely sucked. Didn't particularly care for it. It was good action by Dustin Rhodes. And I believe the name was Michael Conforto in that bull rope match. I think it was a decent matchup overall, but I don't think it needed to be on the main event of this Dynamite episode. Personally, I thought it was good stuff overall. Great content here on Dynamite for last night. And the other thing I have to say, there are so many good face challengers for Kenny Omega to face for the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, literally, practically, there is 3 top guys that I could imagine becoming world champion. One of which most definitely is going to be that. That's Hangman Page. The other is Orange Cassidy. He looks like he's becoming like the Daniel Bryan of AEW. I mean, literally, this guy is doing all kinds of amazing things. He really, in my mind, they showed the footage of him getting screwed for the World Championship. And a lot of people were upset, pissed off, and angry about what happened. They felt he should have won the fucking match. Clearly he did. In my opinion, he should have won the match. But of course, he wasn't the guy selected to move on to be the World Heavyweight Champion after Kenny Omega. It's definitely Hangman Page, more than likely. And then you got Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy, a guy that everybody fucking loves to cheer for. I mean, I'll be upfront with you guys. I don't like the look, the attire, and whatnot. I think eventually if they want to move him in the world title picture and actually have him as world champion someday, he needs to find a different attire, be a little bit more serious. He's more of an entertainer. I've said it before. He belongs in the tag team division with Luchasaurus. I think he'll strive better with that gimmick in a tag team division with that gimmick. He moves into the world title picture. He definitely needs to change the gimmick up a little bit. Make it a little bit more serious. I think there's a possibility you could still keep the name Jungle Boy and still make it work. Maybe use a real name, a real legit name that he could have, and have that as his like nickname in there. Like, let's say his name was Terry Michaels or some, let's just say any random name. Like, let's say my name, my name is Bruce. I'm not going to give you guys my last name. Fuck that shit. I don't need to. But yeah, let's just say somebody had a last name. Let's say my last name is Bruce Clarence, okay, or some kind of shit. Whatever. You get my point. Use a first and last name with the Jungle Boy in the fucking middle. There you go. That's all you got to do. I think that would work out better for the guy. But bottom line, even if you don't put him in the world title scene, him and Luchasaurus competing for the tag team titles against the Young Bucks at All Out, I think is the best option you go with who takes the titles from the tag titles from the Young Bucks. Most definitely. Something else I forgot to mention. Good old Andrade. He showed up here on Dynamite last night. I absolutely loved the way he looked. He looked like Santos Escobar from NXT. The guy looked dressed from head to toe, looked fantastic. He was speaking better English than he did in WWE. The guy looked important. He seemed to be a priority to AEW, unlike what WWE did to Andrade in WWE. They changed his last name for copyright purposes, I believe. But overall, this guy was, he was fucking awesome looking, man. Mark Henry had that segment, and that's where he showed up. I hate the fact that he's with Vicky Guerrero. I think that is taking place. Those two are going to be a team, and Vicky Guerrero is his, I guess, voice, is the person that does the talking for him. But my God, man, he looked fucking fantastic. Really, he looked great. What else? What else took place on this show? Yeah, the Inner Circle showed up, talked about their win against the Pinnacle at Double or Nothing in the Stadium Stampede match. Great stuff. And I was really impressed by what they had to say. Jericho cut a fucking unbelievable promo. I thought the guy was going to get a fucking heart attack. The way he was turning blistering red when he said all this shit, when he got mad, and he's like, I am going to kick your fucking ass, MJF, and you will never, and I mean goddamn ever, forget it, or some kind of shit. I forgot what he said verbatim. But man, the guy was turning fucking bright red. He looked like he was going to have a fucking heart attack. I mean, he was just all over the place with his promo. It was pretty fucking nuts. Anyway, so let's go right into the very first match. We had a non-tag team title match with the Young Bucks versus Pac and Penta El Zero Madeo, formerly known as Pentagon Jr. I gotta be honest with you guys. I think this was an excellent match. These guys worked very well together. Overall, the ending kind of sucked, but the Young Bucks are portraying bad guys in this, and they did what they had to do to win the match. They just did what they had to do, and they won. That's it. They used an ankle brace or a knee brace and smashed it right into Pac's leg. Fucked him up on the top rope. He was trying to go for the Black Arrow, and it ends up getting him screwed for Nick Jackson to pick up the victory, and that's it. So, that's what happened there. Good action overall. We get Mark Henry's first appearance in AEW. He talks about how he wanted to join one of the better shows. He's actually going to be an announcer for Rampage starting in August. He's excited about that, he mentions. Shivani then asks him if he has any plans to wrestle as well. He says at the moment he really is not doing that. He's focused on being a commentator and coaching. I hope that stays that way, Mr. Mark Henry. I don't think we need to see you in any ring. We don't need to see another Christian Cage situation. I'm not too impressed with Christian Cage as of late. I don't think he's done an amazing job or outworked anyone. I think he has a tall mountain to climb to be able to reach that slogan. And that's pretty much how I feel on that, guys. But yeah, this was... he says he has a whole lot more in the tank, though, so we may see him once again competing in the ring, but I hope that's not the case. Vicky Guerrero just shows up out of nowhere screaming, excuse me, and she announces that Andrade El Idolo, or El Idolo, I forgot how they pronounce his last name. So Andrade picks up a microphone and tells everyone that he wants to become the new face of AEW. And that is pretty much what he had to say. I honestly think they could make something out of this. I literally believe they could take this guy and bring him to a new level in pro wrestling. I mean, he could become a big-time name in the wrestling business. The way he came across last night was just unbelievable. I may be being, a little bit of a mark here saying this, but I truly believe AEW could pull this off and make this guy a legit superstar. Because in NXT, he looked like it. He acted like it. And I think he would pull it off here in AEW. Do I see him possibly making it on his own without Vicky Guerrero? I would imagine they could do that. I would hope they do that because I don't want to see him with Vicky Guerrero. Selena Vega would be a better choice if they could hire her and bring her back into the wrestling realm of television. But either that or him by himself. I don't care which, but I have to admit, though, to you guys, I'm getting a little concerned about all the hiring from AEW with the former WWE superstars. I honestly think that's a little bit of a concern. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going after nothing but old guys and whatnot. I mean, they're not doing that. The old guys that they are going after, most of them are working behind a desk, which I'm okay with. But it's just, how many guys are you going to hire where there's no more room on your shows to put them? I mean, literally, Rampage is going to have to be a 2-hour show for them to fit everyone on a show. I mean, it is filtered with so many fucking talent that, in my personal opinion, could make it as main event superstars. And really, to say this, to be straight up honest with you guys, I think Rampage could become the next Dynamite show. I mean, literally 2-hour show where we could have one show with a bunch of superstars playing, having those guys work on that show, and having not Raw, oh God, what am I talking about? Having Dynamite has the other show carrying a bunch of other superstars on that show. They literally could have a brand split with this. This is what AEW could do to utilize all their talent by having a brand split. That would work here in this company. WWE does not have enough superstars to actually utilize a brand split anymore. The show is both the shows are fucking terrible. Having Roman Reigns both on Raw and SmackDown would benefit for WWE overall, especially Monday Night Raw. Holy fuck. And they just don't utilize everyone on their roster. That's probably another reason why they're dumping so many people. Outside of maybe they're selling the company off, which is another thing that's been discussed. But yeah, I mean, AEW is starting to get a little too stacked. Stacked to the point where it's literally impossible to fit everyone on Dynamite. And Rampage only being 1 hour, I don't think that's going to work very well with the amount of talent they got. They got a lot of fucking talent. And a lot of guys that they could utilize on television that they won't be able to fit on Dynamite. I'm telling you. This is literally going to come to a point where Rampage is going to be a 2-hour show. We're going to have 2 shows to be able to watch for AEW. This is eventually going to lead to possibly WWE's demise, man. If they get Rampage good enough to get people to want to watch a 2-hour show of Rampage and Dynamite on a week-to-week basis, WWE's got even more problems than they already have. And they've got enough problems as it is, as a whole. I mean, this is just fucking crazy how much talent they got. And there's many to come. I'm pretty certain of it. I guarantee you, in about a month or 2 from now, we are going to see Samoa Joe in AEW, most definitely. And not as a fucking, a guy that's going to be on the microphone talking shit about what's going on inside the ring. He's not going to be a commentator. This guy is going to be a legit kick-ass. He's going to be kicking people's asses and taking fucking names. That's what this guy's going to be doing, Samoa Joe. No doubt about it. So we had Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson on the show, tag teaming against Anthony Ogogo and QT Marshall. This was a god-awful fucking match. Lee Johnson deserves so much better than this. Cody Rhodes needs to utilize his ability to do something more than this garbage, because he needs to get rid of Anthony Ogogo. This guy needs to go. He sucks. He helped QT Marshall in the matchup with a fucking punch to the jaw. And QT Marshall got the 1, 2, 3. And that was how the match ended. He was about to hit the crossroads on QT Marshall, and Anthony Ogogo just showed up out of nowhere and hit him right in the jaw with a punch. Wow, that's really impressive stuff there, Mr. Ogogo. Why don't you just go away, please, for the love of God. Then we had Inner Circle's victory lap celebration. Jericho begins the segment by surprising the fans with free t-shirts. The crowd roars in excitement. Jericho hands the microphone over to Sammy Guevara, who actually won the match for the team on Sunday's pay-per-view. He says he hit the 630 splash when he was a kid off the roof of his mom's house. And now he had the ability to win the main event with his team by hitting that same exact move that he did when he was a kid off the roof of his home. And it was a very huge moment for him. I'm very proud of what they've done with Sammy Guevara. They are finally utilizing him in the right way. This guy is becoming the face of Inner Circle. If there's anything they could possibly do here at this point in time, during this Pinnacle versus Inner Circle run, put Jericho out. Literally put him out off of television. Let him go do his thing with Fozzy. Go make some more music. Maybe come back with another great song like Judas. And use that song to replace the Judas song with a new one. If it even works, I don't know. I mean, Judas is just one of the best songs I've heard from Fozzy of all time. And I've heard plenty of songs by Fozzy. They're not too bad. They're average. But the Judas is one of the greatest songs they've ever done in the history of the band. Bottom line. And they've done some good songs. Enemy's one of them. They actually utilized that on WWE No Way Out in 2005. So, I mean, he's had some good songs that have been utilized and was highly rated for what he did with Fozzy. And I got to be honest, I think they need to take Jericho off of television. MJF and the Pinnacle need to eliminate him again. And this time take him off TV, leaving the Inner Circle with only 4 guys. This leading to Sammy Guevara and MJF to go into a collision course with each other. That's what I believe needs to happen. This guy, Sammy Guevara, needs a fucking jetpack strapped to his back, and he needs to go into another stratosphere, man. This guy needs to fly high over the rainbow, man. Well, whatever. You get my point. Fly him to the fucking moon, okay? Give him that oxygen. You want him to breathe. But get him straight to the moon, baby. Like Cameron Grimes always says. They need to give Sammy Guevara the biggest push this guy has had since he's joined AEW. And with him being part of the Inner Circle has been the best thing for this guy from day one. From day one. His first match on the first episode of Dynamite. He kickstarted Dynamite with the very first match with him and Cody Rhodes. One of the biggest, most important things they had to do on Dynamite when they started the fucking show. And Cody and Sammy Guevara killed it in the very first match that Dynamite ever had. Fucking impressive match. I went back and I watched that a couple of months ago. I said to myself, my God, that was fucking amazing. And when I first watched it, I was screaming at the top of my lungs while I was watching it live. So, folks, this guy, Sammy Guevara, needs to get this thing. He needs to get the jetpack and fly, baby. This guy needs to go straight to the fucking moon, world championship, something. But he needs to get a huge, huge push. Because what this guy does is amazing shit. That's all there is to it. So yeah, he was talking about that. He was very proud of the win that he got. Santana and Ortiz, they were pissed off at what FTR did. They expressed their grievances about that. And they're interested in fighting FTR. and kicking their ass. Jake Hager got on the microphone. He wants Wardlow. He wants to go up against him in a one-on-one matchup for the opportunity to face him inside of an MMA cage. Yeah, that is correct. He wants him 2 weeks from now and inside a MMA cage. I can talk. Yes, folks, I can talk. Anyway, he wants him inside of an MMA cage and wants to compete under MMA rules. Fucking crazy shit. Wardlow and him inside of a legit cage competing in a MMA fight. I'm all for it. I really am. I would like to see this unsanctioned, like this, no, not unsanctioned, but I mean like this not with a fixed winner. This just has an ending to whoever wins. I'd be okay with that. Not that that would actually happen, but that would be kind of cool. Alright, so and then Jericho concluded with that crazy ending of a promo where he says he has had weeks for dealing with what happened to him back on Blood and Guts, and he still can't get over it. He wakes up in a cold sweat all the time, and he says the inner circle will never forgive and never freaking forget. And they all give the finger just before they go to commercial break, and that's how that segment ends. Excellent segment. Very good stuff. All right, so we have Marv Alvarez backstage with Kenny Omega and Don Callis. He's asking them their thoughts on what happened. They were being accused by Chuck Taylor and Trent about the screw job that Orange Cassidy received by Don Callis and Kenny Omega. And Orange Cassidy said this isn't over yet. So Marvez asks Kenny Omega and Don Callis his thoughts on the comments that were made about Kenny Omega cheating in that match. He says, Kenny Omega and Don Callis says, look, we got footage, proof that this is a conspiracy. Oh my God, we got a reincarnation of Sammy Guevara on AEW Dynamite. Holy shit. What kind of proof have they got here? What are they going to prove? That they screwed over Orange Cassidy and this is not a conspiracy? This is all legit facts that he screwed Orange Cassidy out of the world title? I mean, come on, let's get real here. Fucking retarded. Then he's asked about Jungle Boy. How is he feeling about that? Does he have any concerns? He says, no, Jungle Boy, yeah, he's a great guy. He entertains lots of people. He's a good wrestler, but... and I am even a fan of Jungle Boy, but I'm not going to worry about that. My mind's set on retaining the championship. That's it. Done and over with. You know, that's what he had to say there in that segment. So whatever footage he's got proof of, I have no idea. He's defending the title in 2 weeks on Saturday night, actually, which I will be here on Saturday night, right after the episode is over. I'm going to upload a video and tell you guys exactly how I felt about that episode. So, anyway, let's continue on with this. Like I said, this was not a bad show. Jungle Boy and Christian Cage faced the Private Party. Overall, good match. Jungle Boy did most of the legwork. Christian Cage did pretty okay with this match as well. Private Party ends up losing the match with, I believe it was Christian, well, let's see here. Yeah, Jungle Boy gets the snare trap in again on Quinn, and he ends up making him tap out, getting the victory for him and Christian Cage. So Jungle Boy is rolling into his world championship opportunity. Very smart move by AEW's decision making here to book him into another win situation, because you don't want him going into a world title match losing. That looks kind of ridiculous. Kind of takes away the right for him to even compete for the World Heavyweight Championship to begin with. So that's pretty much that. So Jungle Boy and Christian Cage are in the middle of the ring. They shake hands. They show a lot of class and respect for one another. Christian Cage is walking back on the rampway to go backstage, and then all of a sudden Matt Hardy appears out of nowhere from behind, hits a twist of fate, and is pretty excited about how he won it, or how he went ahead and kicked Cage's ass. So Matt Hardy and Christian Cage could be facing each other later on down the road. How I feel about that? I think that's a pretty cool idea. I mean, you got two old bags going at it. Maybe like the opener of a pay-per-view of All Out, possibly, or putting them in the main event of Dynamite. I would be okay with that too, just to give some youngsters the opportunity to have a spot on the pay-per-view card of All Out leading into September 5th. So I'd be all right with that. A lot better than putting them in the pay-per-view card of All Out. So there you go. Next, Darby Allin and Sting. Sting begins his address, says his match at Double or Nothing will be something he will never forget, and he appreciates the fans for their love and support on what he did during that match. Them also saying he deserved it meant a lot to him. He said they have no idea how much it means to him to hear the wonderful praise from the fans and how much he cares about the fans and what they provide him in return. Great stuff there. Then Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page showed up. They said, Sting, you proved us wrong, man. You are the icon. But we got to question your buddy, Darby Allin. Without you, would he have won the match? So their challenge is to test this kid is they want him to select another tag team partner going into a Dynamite episode and face them again in tag team wrestling without Sting being there and having another tag team partner. Do I like it? Kinda. This storyline is more to help Darby Allin look good. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, all they're really doing is being jobbers in this situation. They're not going to win nothing. They're going to end up losing again. Darby Allin is going to then pick up a victory with whatever tag team partner he has, or better yet, they may just put him in this match against those two in a handicap match. They may actually end up putting Darby Allin in a handicap match and make him win that match by himself. You could also throw in a little storyline here where Sting questions his judgment by doing something like that, putting himself behind the 8-ball and competing in a handicap match. So you have Sting playing the role of a mentor, trying to give him better advice than putting himself in such a disadvantage against two guys that literally could throw him around like a fucking rag doll. I mean, Darby Allin's not exactly a very tall guy. I mean, I'm 5'6". The guy is, I'd probably say he's about 5'11". He's not a tall dude compared to the other guys he's competing against. Scorpio Sky's 6'1", and I believe Ethan Page is about 6'3", and weighs over 250, maybe 270 pounds. Darby Allin's a fucking toothpick. He could be a cruiserweight if you really wanted to put him there. God knows we wouldn't want to do that to the poor son of a bitch. He works his ass off and he fucking throws his body around like a battering ram. But honestly, this is really an interesting story that they're doing. They're putting a chip on Darby Allin's shoulder and, putting him in a situation where he's going to have to even work harder to show that he is deserving to be with the big boys, the big guys, the guys that are tall and muscular and whatnot. And, the concept here is kind of smart because of what happened with him defending the TNT Championship against Miro. Miro literally destroyed him. If you haven't noticed lately, Darby Allin has been getting his ass kicked by a lot of guys. And guys that are, twice his size. Throwing him around, beating him up, throwing him down flights of stairs. Miro, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky, these three guys beat the shit out of this guy for the last week and a half. It's been pretty bad. Ethan Page chucked him like Spike Dudley in ECW. I already mentioned this on my Double or Nothing pay-per-view review, okay? On my pay-per-view results and review on the actual event. It was fucking outrageous how he just was thrown like he was Spike Dudley in fucking ECW. Crazy stuff. So, I'm liking the idea. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky are being utilized at the best of their ability creatively, I guess, at this point. But after the storyline's over, what are they going to have to do at that point? Are they going to have anything else to do? I don't think so. And they're all they're going to do at the end of the day is lose. There's no winning coming out of this, or you're not building a new superstar. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky ain't exactly what you call building up to being star status. Darby Allin is. You got fucking Sting by him. Why wouldn't you be saying at that point, if you got Sting with Darby Allin, you're saying that you're trying to build Darby Allin into a superstar, a mega player in AEW. So, having him lose would be fucking idiotic. Next segment was Britt Baker. She was celebrating her victory for the AEW Women's Championship. And she had Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring with a couple of other people. A few women from AEW was there to celebrate. Nyla Rose played a big factor in the end of the segment. Britt Baker, she said, look, you guys look under, there's about 1,500 coupons for hamburgers. Now we'd like to give to you guys as a special thanks for showing up here tonight. She said, go ahead, look underneath your chair. Nobody found anything underneath their chair like they did with Jericho. And she says, look, I'm not like Jericho. Jericho and the Inner Circle, they're nice to you guys and want to give you stuff. I'm not going to. You want to know why? Because you guys didn't believe in me in the first place. I did this all on my own. I didn't do this with anybody's help. I did this by myself. I became the legit superstar of this women's division, and I'm going to become the main face of this company at the end of it. And she was spot on, to be quite frank with you. Including myself, I did not believe in this chick. I did not think she is even remotely worthy enough to be a world champion at any point in time because of how terrible she was. But as time went on and they hit that reset after that match with Thunder Rosa and she lost that unsanctioned match, she really started gaining some momentum in my eyes. And each week she just cut better and better promos. And that alone just helps you out, in my opinion, outside of the wrestling ability. I'll be honest with you guys. I really think she's taking a lot of what Adam Cole does in WWE NXT and is applying it in her own spiel, her own gimmick. She's very cocky. She's got a lot of Adam Cole traits in my mind. I see a lot of it. She's very, with the DMD shit. It's like her with like Adam Cole, baby. That's basically the same thing in my eyes. So, yeah, personally, I see a lot of what she is doing is Adam Cole work. And it works. It really does. It is getting her over heavily. And I love it. A lot of times when you take a gimmick that somebody you know, like a family member, a significant other, something like that, doesn't usually work out. If you don't believe me, look at Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's gimmick is very Ric Flairish. She acts very much like Ric Flair, and I don't think people care for her for that reason. Besides other reasons, like, for example, she's not wanting to put people over. That I don't like about her, and I'm a fan of Charlotte Flair. I'm not going to lie. I've loved some of her WrestleMania matches. I thought she's been pretty good overall. Her match with fucking Asuka was excellent, but the ending result was absolutely terrible. I did not like the ending of that match at WrestleMania 34. I thought she should have lost and gave that title to Asuka. And that's one thing I can understand why fans who aren't even fans of hers hate her guts. I can understand that. It's a Hulk Hogan type of mentality that she has, which is not good. Hulk Hogan used to do the exact same thing. John Cena did that with Wade Barrett. Made Wade Barrett hate his fucking guts for that reason. And John Cena's openly admitted he made a mistake by not, trying to help Wade Barrett get over. And, I have a lot of respect for John Cena for saying something like that when he thought maybe that wasn't something they needed to do for a guy like him. People make mistakes. I understand that. But when you're constantly being selfish and you're not wanting to put other people that you work with over to help them be a superstar like yourself, you're being one selfish motherfucker. And I don't like people like that. As a person, I'm not too much of a fan of Charlotte Flair. But as the wrestler, I love her. I think she's a great performer. But lately, since she's been on Monday Night Raw and she came back, she hasn't been all that great either. I don't know if it has anything to do with her or WWE Creative. But I haven't been too impressed with Charlotte Flair whatsoever, even though I'm a fan of hers. And I hope at some point she kind of realizes she needs to put other talent over and help them achieve the same achievements she has done in her career. Because she's won too many fucking titles for such a short career with no meaningful title reigns. I will admit that to you guys too. But anyway, let's move on past Charlotte Flair. That was a fucking retarded thing for me to just go on about Charlotte Flair. Because this ain't about Charlotte Flair. This is about Britt Baker, the DMD. And she goes ahead and she says, I'm only sharing hamburgers with a few people. She tells Reba and she tells Tony Schiavone to have a double cheeseburger with her. They go for a bite, and out of nowhere, Nyla Rose takes her hand and slaps it right up in the air at all three of their hands, and the hamburgers just fly up in the air right above them and fall in front of the ring. She takes the rest of the plate of fucking hamburgers and throws it into the stands, throws it on the side to the rampway and into the audience close to the rampway as well. And she was pissed and she walked away. So obviously AEW's telling us that the first title defense that Britt Baker is going to get is going to be against Nyla Rose. That's a pretty challenging opponent to just throw her right in front of a woman like that. So, good luck to Britt Baker on that match. I'm certain she will actually walk away winning the match regardless. So, next up, backstage we had Eddie Kingston discuss with Pac and Pentagon Jr. about the situation that took place. They were upset that he was trying to help them out. And he said, look, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. So their enemy is the fucking Young Bucks. It's the Elite. So at this point in time, for the time being, they're friends. They have they're allies. They have a reason to work together to reach a common goal. And once they reach that common goal, then they can walk their separate ways at that point. So Pac and Penta actually look confused a little bit by the comments made by Eddie Kingston. And that's pretty much what happened in that overall segment. Last thing I have to discuss with you guys, because immediately after this co-main event match was the bull rope match. Red Velvet went up against the Bunny. She wins this match. with no problem, with a kick to the head and a 1-2-3. Following that, we had Miro. He's ready to defend his TNT Championship against Evil Uno. That's the next opponent for the TNT Championship. I like the fact they have Miro defending the title, like how they did with Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. Brody Lee didn't happen to do that. He didn't feel like he needed to do something like that. And then the main event was Dustin Rhodes in a bull rope match against Nick Comoroto. I apologize in the beginning of this video, making a mistake with the name. I think I called him Michael Comoroto or some shit like that. Nick Comoroto went up against Dustin Rhodes in a one-on-one match in the bull rope match, and Dustin Rhodes ends up winning this match in a pretty decent, okay matchup, but not my opinion. Should have been the main event. Personally, I kind of felt like the Young Bucks versus Pac and Pentagon Jr. would have been a better idea, because Eddie Kingston at the end of this would have showed up, saved Pac and Pentagon from getting their asses whooped. And this could have been a beneficial thing, leaving it as a cliffhanger. There was no cliffhanger here at the end of this episode. So I think that would have been kind of a cool idea to leave a cliffhanger at the end of Dynamite. That would have been a good idea to utilize that match for the main event. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Not really a big, huge deal. You know, it's not going to make the show any worse or bad. You know, it was a good show. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm really talked out. I ain't got much more to discuss here. So leave your comments and opinions down below. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.